Today we're going to talk about the type of homes you should be looking at to buy. I don't care if this is your first home or your 50th. There are certain homes that just carry great energy and great resale value for the life of that home. And let's face it, most of the time you or I live in a home for 5, 10, maybe 20 years, but the ecosystem of a house will carry many families. So I think it's so important to zero in on the type of home that's going to be good for your family or good for you and also good for resale. The data that we're talking about today came from homes.com. They did a study of the 19 most popular types of homes or style of homes to buy. Don't worry, we're not going to talk about 19 today, but I have picked out a couple that are very prevalent in the Nashville, Tennessee area and prevalent really around the country. And we're going to do a deep dive into that today. Hi, my name is Lorene Hetherington. I am very fortunate to lead a team of luxury agents, and we specialize in helping people buy and sell homes in the Nashville, Tennessee area and nearby Franklin, Tennessee area. So if you are considering moving to Nashville, Tennessee, and you have a time frame and a budget, we would love the opportunity to talk to you about what this area has to offer and the type of homes you may want to live in if you're again coming to the Nashville, Tennessee area. We're all about helping you buy a house, get a fresh start, and live your best life yet. So let's do that deep dive into the homes that you may want to consider and homes you should target if you're in the market to buy a home, either here in Nashville or really anywhere in the country. The number one home that I love to talk about is a ranch. Ranches are where all of the living is on one floor. Ranches are super popular with a variety of segments and they serve a variety of needs. Young families like them because they can be all on one floor with their kids. A lot of aging baby boomers. Let's face it, we have a whole segment of our population that is getting older and they may not need a ranch or need for no stairs right now, but they'd like to quote age in place. So ranches are also super popular for that segment, and that segment is huge. So that's why I absolutely love ranches. Ranches are, again, all living on one floor. It usually has a front door that leads you right into a living room. Now, in the old days, in the 50s and 60s, it just shot you right into the living room, and then there was a wall, and you kept going back, and you hit the back part of the house, the kitchen, and then part of the bedrooms. The new ranches today, and what I love about ranches, is the ability to pretty easily renovate them. Because there's no second story, you can literally blow out their walls, and you can just put, again, support structures up into the attic, and it's pretty easy to make that old ranch a new modern open floor plan. So ranches are pretty easy to renovate. Ranches are also a little bit more expensive to build. This always shocks people that I work with. They're like, hey, let's get a ranch because it's probably cheaper to make them. Actually, just the opposite. If you look at a ranch from, say, the bird's eye, ranches are more expensive to build because there is more concrete in the structure. It just has a bigger footprint. Also, the roof lines are bigger, so that's more money in that. So just because it's a one story doesn't mean it's cheaper. Actually, ranches are more expensive to build. One of the things that I really love about ranches is, again, everybody's on the first floor with you, and they're also much more efficient to heat and cool because you only have one floor to deal with. Ranches have phenomenal resale, especially going into that market, again, where a large segment of our population is aging. So that's a ranch. Number two type of home is contemporary or modern homes. So we are located in Nashville, Tennessee, and we have a lot of really amazing, beautiful, modern homes. Modern homes are usually stacked very square. They often have a more boxy look to them, so there's more square lines and less curves. It's clean, it's minimal, and most of the modern floor plans that we see today in Nashville and even in California around the country is they have very open floor plans. So there's fewer rooms, but larger footprints to every room. So lots of big rooms without walls. Typically, modern homes have very large windows. And this is the thing that I love about modern homes is you see sometimes floor to ceiling windows. So a lot of windows, that means a lot of natural light coming into modern homes. Modern homes also have balconies or rooftop decks. They use a lot of metal, wood, and hardy plank. So renovating can be a little tougher because you're having to work with a very wide open floor plan. So essentially you're, because in many cases, putting walls back where there was some. So I will say renovating modern homes is one of the negatives if you're thinking about a modern home. You also need to understand that the appeal is a little bit more limited. There is a certain segment of our population that just doesn't like modern homes. So if you're buying strictly for resale, know that a modern home has a different buy box. The typical buyer for a modern home is younger. So I would say 27, 28 to around that 48 range. that's your wheelhouse as far as resale. Modern homes have so much to love about them, but again, resale is a little bit tougher. So maybe go with a more modern looking home, but a more traditional inside. That would be the perfect home for you to buy. Number 3, the Mediterranean style homes. We see a lot of Mediterranean style homes in Southern California, parts of Florida, a little bit in Texas. You're not really going to find Mediterranean homes in the Midwest. Even here in Nashville, we don't have a lot of Mediterranean homes, and every once in a while we will see them, and they seem to sit on the market for so long, and it's because they're just unusual here. So if you're going to buy a Mediterranean home, make sure that you are buying it where there's lots of them in the area. So it's more of the DNA structure of the ecosystem instead of just a one-off, because if it's a one-off and so unusual according to the rest of the homes in the neighborhood, probably gonna be a little tricky on resale. Mediterranean homes were inspired by homes in Europe. They're known for features such as stucco on the exterior. That's the material that's used on the outside portion of the home. Many Mediterranean homes also have red clay tile roofs. These roofs are gorgeous, but they are very expensive to put on and expensive to repair. They are, in most cases, fire resistant. So a good tile roof can last for decades, but if you're buying an older Mediterranean home, make sure you have a phenomenal inspector, because you don't want to be the person that's stuck replacing that red tile roof. Mediterranean homes also have signature marks such as a lot of wrought iron details, ornate fencing, doors, center courtyards. They're very signature in style. So again, if you're going to buy a Mediterranean home, which I think are beautiful, make sure that you're buying one where that's kind of the mainstay. You see a lot of them in your neighborhood. If you're stuck with that unicorn or anomaly, it's not usually a good place to be. The next type of home is farmhouse style. We can thank Chip and Joanna for really making the farmhouse style home cool. And I would say the farmhouses in the last 3 to 5 years have also really changed from that signature, a lot of wood detail and very farmhousey. Today's farmhouse is very modern. We are not seeing the same amount of, a lot of rough barnwood looks. It's more modern and contemporary inside. Of course, the farmhouse, whether it's 3 to 5 years ago or today, is not the 100-year-old farmhouse that I grew up in. It's young, modern, and cool. As we're seeing the things start to change with farmhouses, the rustic beams, wood plank ceilings or wall decor, barnwood is really going out, and it's replaced by more sleek, timeless features. Farmhouse sinks, still white hot. It may be white porcelain or stainless steel. But farmhouse styles are really super friendly on families, because a lot of farmhouses have fewer, larger rooms, and we see front and back porches. What's not to love about porches on the front of the home or in back? Here in Nashville, we see them a lot, and they're always fully embraced and really hot tickets when they come up on the market. Farmhouses also usually have very practical mud rooms right off of the garage, so a family or anyone coming in can have that drop zone for their shoes and their backpack. So resale on farmhouse homes are very strong, especially the more classic floor plan and design. I believe that this is going to be a great home to buy today, because I think resale is going to be strong for many decades to come. The next style of home we want to talk about is called a cape or a Cape Cod. We see a lot of capes really throughout the country, and they're usually in older homes. We saw a lot in the 1950s and 1960s being built. And because of how they're constructed, there's more living area on the first floor, and because of the roof line and the pitch, there's a less square footage upstairs. So most capes have almost all of their shared living space on the first floor. The kitchen, the living room, any family gathering area is usually on the first floor with the cape. Upstairs is primarily reserved for 2 to 3 bedrooms and 1 to 2 baths. So capes are great because the home is smaller, making it a great starter home for people just trying to get into the market. Or on the flip side, people trying to downsize, perhaps maybe in that last quarter of life, and they just want to get rid of the big house but still live in a house and not a condo. Capes are great for that as well. And because of the size, they cost less to update and renovate. A roof is going to cost a lot less to replace on a cape than it is on a farmhouse style. HVAC is also going to be easier to replace and less expensive because it just has less square footage to keep a furnace and an air conditioner going. So I love capes. They're great for resale. If you can find them again in a great neighborhood, I think that is the key. Next up, townhomes. Townhomes are defined as a product that has at least one shared wall, and sometimes two. Sometimes you have a neighbor on the left and on the right. If you're an end unit townhome, which is always considered a prized possession to buy, it's because you only have one neighbor and you're generally on a corner, so you have better windows allowing more light in. So townhomes are smaller and more affordable. It's great for people just starting out or trying to just get a flag in the ground and stop paying rent. 2024 here in Nashville was a big year for condos and townhome sales. And again, it looks like a good option because it just costs less to get in. Most townhomes have the main living area on the first floor, the kitchen and the living area, and usually upstairs is where we're going to find all of the bedrooms and baths. Many townhomes we are seeing today have a small back patio or outdoor living area. Usually this is fenced, but really what townhomes have is a shared common space, which is a larger green space in the middle of a complex, and there is usually a monthly fee which everybody pitches in to maintain. When it comes to buying townhomes, you really want to do your research. I love townhomes that are in phenomenal landlocked neighborhoods because you're always going to have a lot of people wanting to come and go. Also, townhomes near top-ranked local elementary schools are also a great buy because you're always going to have a number of buyers that want your product when it's time for you to go sell. What scares me a little bit about townhomes are the townhomes that are out, 30 minutes from the city, because they're usually surrounded by development opportunities for builders to keep coming, buying more land, buying more townhomes. It's really hard to make money on those, a townhome that's way out there, because you're always competing with the builders. So like everything in real estate, townhomes definitely come down to location. So buy one in the best neighborhood you can afford. So there you have it. A couple of the main types of homes that you would want to be zoning in on if you're thinking about buying a home. And if that journey leads you to Nashville, Tennessee, our team would be honored to hop on a phone call with you. Here's my phone number, 615-330-0987. Text me or call me, and we'll set up a time to talk about your move here to Nashville. And when you are actually at the point where you know that this is it and you're coming to town, we would love the opportunity to block up some time on our calendar and take you in and introduce you to different neighborhoods so you can find that perfect home. We're all about helping you buy a house, get a fresh start, and live your best life yet. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.